Итак, поехали. Он сказал, поехали, и взмахнул рукой. И у нас капитан, ему лет 100, наверное, да? Ну, красивый, молодой. Ну, тут все такие-то, лет под 100. Это мы такие две молодушки, красивушки. Итак, это Винтерпарк, это Флорида, это Орландо. Вот он такой дяденька, поехали. Наташа, скажи привет, красавица.
Здравствуйте всем. Садитесь поудобнее, будет интересное видео.
Очень будет интересно, ага. Вот там, сейчас пройдем, там университет такой красивый, боже, там. Я тоже там все облазила. И в этих вот, это два озера здесь соединяются, мы потом через...
Welcome. My name is Alan. Welcome everybody.
Hello, Alan.
Sure, have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Какой голос приятный, дядя. Why not? For $20. Боже, как красиво.
Yeah. If you get bored, just jump overboard. I'll come by and pick you up.
Говорит, если вам будет скучно, ныряйте через...
Ага, я потом вас подберу. Чтоб не снесло шапку.
I call this the B-side of town. Welcome to the B-side. B isn't beautiful.
B это beautiful. Я думала, B это B.
Gotta get out here in a boat to enjoy it.
Вот это дома миллионеров кругом.
Just one area that you can see.
Смотри, женщина машет. А там же крокодилы, как же она купается в воде. Вау, там же крокодилы.
Kids raising families and so on.
Подают.
Over the years, we've created three museums, three very special art museums. First one to talk about is the Palacic Museum on the right. This was the estate of one of the world's great sculptors. His name was Albin Palacic. He was born in Czechoslovakia in 1879. He came to America when he was in his 20s, and he studied at the Philadelphia Institute of Arts. It was built in 1885. The town was founded in 1882. Now the heart of pine trees are still growing, but they're young. They're not the old ones. They're the old ones that were all in city money. It was private donations. I gave him $2. Yeah. They moved it because the fool that owned it was going to knock it down. Yep, he didn't care about the history of the house. So the Historical Society went hysterical and they saved it. It was quite a project. The house was actually cut in half. It weighs 200 tons. So they had to take 2 trips on the barge, and then they duct taped it together. It was beautiful. Look at this greenery. I mean, this is the real Florida here. Look at this. This tree on the right is this tree is over 300 years old. That's a live oak.
Какая красота.
I want you all to stand up, introduce yourselves, tell us.
Говорит, можете встать. Башки не будет.
Tell us where you live.
Скажи, какая красота. Вообще сказка. Вот следующее озеро. Вот так вот. Зачем? Не видно. Не, видно нормально. Отлично. Солнце. Какой, смотри, дворик. Оп! Ой, испугалась. Он сколько падало с этого. Класснего. Кто-то здесь живет. Вау. Вот еще одно озеро.
Okay, we have some guests from Scotland, from Glasgow. And Indiana.
Из Индианы.
Where are you guys from? Haiti. Haiti? Where are you from, sir? Puerto Rico. Lady?
Russia.
Pardon?
Russia.
Ukraine.
Ukraine. A lot going on there these days, huh? Rather be in Winter Park than Ukraine right now. Where are you guys from in the back?
We're from Florida.
Florida? Okay. Wow.
Right here.
We have an international group, don't we? Scotland, Ukraine, Indiana. I'm a Jersey boy. Talk about a foreign country. I'm a Jersey boy.
Боже, как красиво. Да, домики, конечно, здесь стоят миллионы.
Now, 28,000 people live in Winter Park. This house was built in 1925.
25 тысяч людей живет в
It
Винтерпарке.
started out as a men's club. This was the poker palace for the movers and shakers of town. And on the other side of the house is a 70-acre lake on the other side. Now the neighbors here, the White House was built 11 years ago. The recent owner, the previous owner, was a newspaper heiress from California, a lady by the name of Scripps newspaper family. The new family put in a 75,000-gallon swimming pool. They have a lot of kids. They have 6 kids. And over to the right is a slide. So the kids get off the wall there and into the slide and scoot into the pool. On the other side of these beautiful homes is a 70-acre lake on the other side.
Wow.
Вот это соседи.
Now this is what 10 million looks like.
Вот это 10 миллионов.
BF, 10 million BF, before furniture. That's no BS.
До фурнитура, до мебели.
70-acre lake on the other side.
$10 миллионов.
Now these big homes were built on an orange grove 11 years ago. This land to your left was a citrus grove. This was a commercial 160 acres of orange and grapefruit. The land is too expensive to grow trees on today, orange trees. $2 million for an acre at the lakeside, and that's a lot of oranges.
Раньше были сады с апельсинами. Но тут настолько дорогая земля, что выращивать апельсины на этой земле себе дороже.
It's a museum, but no one's allowed in it. It's owned by the Morris family, M-O-R-S-E, set up in a foundation. Can you hear the noise in the background?
Слышишь, пикак?
That's a peacock. We have wild peacocks here.
Как на русском сказать?
They were brought to that villa in 19...
Выбирай себе домик. Я куплю тебе дом. У пруда в Подмосковье. Пойдем в бесплатный музей?
Now the campus is 80 acres. All the buildings are Mediterranean design. This is the top, #1 liberal arts college school. Now the tuition for the undergraduate students is $40,000 a year. And most of the kids live on campus, so it brings it up to $55,000. That's pretty pricey. But there's only one. There is one professor for every 11 students.
Один профессор на каждые 11 учеников.
Certainly get a great education.
Как они не боятся?
Как они не боятся? The Cornell is open every day but Monday, and it's free. Park over here to the front there, or you can come over to the public beach here, park your car, and then get on this path, cross the bridge there, get on the path, walk around the campus. These are sports facilities, volleyball, basketball, and tennis. Now this college of 2,000 students have produced 2 Wimbledon champions, which is an amazing statistic. Pauline Betts, Wimbledon champion 1946 from Maryland. and Shirley Fry from Pennsylvania, 1956 Wimbledon champion. Well, this is a public beach. The water is, it's almost near 80 degrees now. 80 plus. This is public. These are 4-room suites, 2 students to a suite. And
двух- и четырехместные
they have
комнаты.
housekeepers.
У них есть
My
хаускипер.
socks are still on the floor in the old dorm.
Что, правда?
Imagine
Silent
it.
housekeepers.
This is the president's house with the orange roof, president of the college. This is a
Вот это вот все.
9,000 square foot house.
Это все общаги?
Нет.
We're looking for a new president. In the center there with the white trim, 3,000 square feet.
Сейчас новая Италия начнется.
Боже.
Смотри, как красиво. Скажи, красотень какая. Одно удовольствие в такой красоте покататься.
Я выехала из села Далтона. Покажите хоть. Вы кататься даже приехали?
Нет.
Да.
А, да. Точно, тоже всего 2 озера, да? Ай, как красиво. Так, нагинаем голову. О! Чуть крышу не снесло.
Вот надо было садиться на первый ряд, да?
Ну да.
This tree on the right here, folks. This tree is called Heart of Pine. And this is the kind of tree that built the Capen House. That particular tree is over 200 years old. And the wood that made the Capen House was over 200 years old. That's the last one standing of the old trees in this area. The old pine. This is 95 feet above sea level. This is one of the highest elevations in Florida. This town of Winter Park, 95 feet above sea level. You know, Florida is an ocean bed, former ocean bed. And, there are no swamps here. 95 feet. All the land is suitable for building. It's our home lake. This is where we got on the boat.
90 feet above.
Да, сколько? 90 feet это 30 метров.
1 фит это
Osceola was a real
12
person.
инчей.
He was,
24 сантиметра.
3 feet это метр, 30 метров
the
выше
head of
уровня
the
моря.
Seminole Indian Nation. Beautiful his and her boathouse over here.
Boathouse.
30 years old.
Домик для...
Belongs to the house up in the hill. This was the Brewer Mansion, 1898. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. This was the winter home of Mr. and Mrs. Brewer from upstate New York, Cortland, New York. To this day, it still has 9 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and 2 kitchens, except now only 2
Фига так
people live in it.
много. На 2 человека.
In the
Зачем?
old days, they had big families, and child number 8 was the last kid, so he or she did not get the bathroom. Probably affected his whole life. Might have needed counseling, in fact.
Хозяева этого дома имеют 8 детей. 8 спален.
Well, this is one of a kind in Central Florida, completed in 1955. This is called a
Со своим
Bermuda
пляжем.
Colonial. This is modeled after homes on the beautiful island of Bermuda. The roof and the chimneys are very special, very popular in Bermuda. The sand came from Daytona Beach, where else?
Ничего себе.
A big green tree is a magnolia. There's still some white
Песок
flowers
привезли
on
с
there, the
Daytona Beach.
magnolias. Now this was the winter home of the Rich family, appropriate winter park name, Mr. and Mrs. Rich.
Это зимний дом для очень богатых людей.
1955. The neighbors were really rich. The neighbors were the Haynes family, H-A-N-E-S. They owned the Haynes Underwear Company.
Компания по пошивке нижнего белья.
Lake to be fully developed. There are no open lots. Well, there's one over here, but that's because they tore a house down. But we've got 2 homes here from the 19th century, still standing. We have a half a dozen from the early 20th century. For example, Rogers, James Gamble Rogers, lived and worked in this town for 65 years, and he also created the Bermuda Colonial back there. That was house number 50. The first great money in this area came from lumber, and the second great money came from citrus, and today it's doctors and lawyers and real estate people. And we have Lockheed Martin here, we have Siemens, we have some very high-priced engineering jobs. So this is Lake Osceola, the old money lake. How do you like this sculpture here? She's a beauty, isn't she? She carved out of marble. She's looking north. We call her southern exposure. Looking at roses. The roses are the knockout rose. Blooms 12 months a year. Florida knockout rose.
Ой, как
Not much of
красиво.
a scent to them, but they're sure pretty.
Боже,
And they're
как
hardy.
красиво.
Well, we'll get
Деревья
out
с
of the
этими
sun here.
висюльками, это
This is
вообще
a nice
сказка.
shaded canal.
Все, поехали снова в канал.
Красота, вот там
$1920 bridge. This is Palmer Avenue. Company from York, Pennsylvania built this bridge.
Вот гаражи для лодок. Вот такой гаражик. Еще один гараж для лодки. Класс, да? Так вышел, лодочку взял и покатался. Смотри. Там можно жить. Вот гараж для лодки тоже. Как дом настоящий. Угу. Ой, как красиво, какой дом шикарный. такое дерево обросшее. Вон дерево все заросшее, на нем растет какая-то это.
Заросшим мхом.
Ты даже не мог, это какие-то растения. Оп, мне прям в рот что-то упало.
Я вот так прошу.
Смотри, на подпорках стоят.
Хибискус.
Позади заливчик. Я надеюсь, хорошо видно. А то все впереди да впереди. Позади может еще красивее снимать, чем впереди. Отлично.
This is the biggest of the 6 lakes. It's about 500 acres.
Валентин.
Lake Maitland. I call it the new rich lake, the new money lake. There's a house directly in front of us going up. Husband and wife, not even 30 years old, building that house. This is the new money lake. Oh, we do have a few older homes here. This is the northernmost point in the city. This lake is the most important of all the lakes that holds controls the water level. 1960, the city built a spillway that takes the pressure off the lakes during the rainy season. In the early days of the town, we had two families that donated land to the city. This is a donation from the Kraft family, George and Lloyd Kraft. They gave this 9 acres to the city in 1936 as a gift. These are 800-year-old cypress trees. This is a memorial to George and Lloyd Kraft. Kraft family memorial. We have outdoor weddings there, 12 months a year. Any day of the week, liable to be a wedding there. This is also a bird sanctuary up the top, Amhinga bird. It's a duck, Amhinga. Now the Kraft family were not cheese people. They owned a bank in downtown Orlando.
Я уже есть хочу. Такая долгая прогулка была у нас с тобой.
Now this is the Vias. This is the pricey part of town, the east end of the lake. 50 miles that way is Cape Canaveral, the Space Center. Over here in the corner, the old Alabama Hotel opened in 1921. 75 guest rooms. Beautiful winter hotel. And in 1980, it converted to 19 permanent condominiums. very fancy private
Just the
condominiums
condominium.
today. This family spent $1 million on landscaping. There's a ballroom in the left corner there. This boathouse is new. It has a dining room and a kitchen. The house in the behind there was built in 1925. This family spent $1 million as well on furniture, on landscaping. How do you get
Ого,
furniture
$1 миллион
and landscaping?
на украшение дома, двора.
It used to be a very prominent doctor's house, Dr. Tom Taylor. He was the town's pediatrician. Over here, 1919, this house was completed. It has a full basement up on the hill there, so they could build a basement. The family, the original owner of this house, that was their winter home. They lived in Newport, Rhode Island in the summers. This is new. These people live here 12 months a year. This is 18,000 square feet. About 20,000 when it's done. Going to put a tennis court in the front here. Hi, honey. I'll be home at 6 o'clock.
Молодец какой. Ненормальный, там же крокодилы, божечки мои. Ну вообще сумасшедшие люди. Вау, ничего себе. Какой красивый
This is
домик.
the Grand Dome of the Winter Park Mediterraneans. The most popular style is the Mediterranean. This is a very special one. It was built in 1928. 3 years ago, the house was literally cut in half. That's the new master bedroom suite there to the right. See the difference in the roof line. Now, the original house can be seen in a Tom Hanks movie called From the Earth to the Moon. It was directed by Tom Hanks. Hanks lived here 1993 for 4 months when he made the movie. He was very keen about the house, made sure it was part of the movie. There were scenes filmed inside and outside.
Что этот фильм снимался?
From the Earth to the Moon.
Это дом
There's a documentary on
был
how we
объектом
got there.
съемок в знаменитом фильме.
Now this is Via Lugano, and the bridge leads to a 12-acre island. 11 homes over here on 12 acres.
Ой, какая красота! Опа, опа, смотри-ка, прям дерево растет в центре. И с елочными игрушками.
There's even a Heineken bottle there.
И бутылка висит Хайнекен.
This is green, Christmas green. Egret, another egret. Osprey's nest up the top.
Вон гнездо наверху.
Bird of prey, osprey. These are cypress. This is a peninsula, water on both sides.
красота позади нас. Надо было фотографии бы наделаться. Все, приехали.
Now the other day, 22,000 square feet. It was the first $10 million house in the town. It was built for a basketball player. 6 feet, 10 inches tall, Horace Grant. Played for Chicago, played for the Magic. Retired now. The house was designed specifically to accommodate 6'10" Horace Grant. He sold it to normal-sized people. Normal-sized people had to redo the bathrooms and the kitchen. they couldn't reach a
Дом
thing.
знаменитого баскетболиста.
The White House was built during the Great Depression, 1933. It was designed by James Gamble Rogers, a Winter Park guy that designed the Bermuda Colonial and 48 other houses. And the first owner of that white mansion was the president of the Chevrolet car company.
Этот белый дом принадлежал президенту Chevrolet Company. А мы снова в проливчик сейчас идем. Жарко, сказать, сколько жарко.
Rollins College Boathouse, 1975. The men's team are national champions this year. Last month they won the Division II national championships up in New Jersey. Какая красотища! Боже мой! Чем тебе не Италия, скажи? Венеция.
Были, проезжали.
Ну так еще раз, но с другой стороны.
Надо или по дому погулять.
А мы можем так пойти погулять?
По-любому, да.
Боже, какая красотища, Господи, Боже мой. И нафига в Италию ехать, скажи? Вот ты за $11 тебе, вот тебе Италия. Ку-ку. Новое строительство. Нагинаем голову. Вау, 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 вау. Какая красотень, божечки мои, в каком раю мы живем, Наташа. И вот такая красота кругом во Флориде. Вот скажи, такая красота кругом и всюду. Вся
Красота
Флорида,
кругом,
вот,
вовсюду.
вся вот такая Флорида.
Скажу.
Обалденно, обалденная, просто невероятно. Вон эти деревья, какие громаднючие. Выходим снова в открытое море. И возвращаемся домой.
House farm when he arrived at Rollins in 1948. He had his own private house. That's a guest house, that's new. But the brick house, the swimming pool in the front, it belonged to a guy by the name of Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers went on to considerable fame. After he graduated from Rollins, he got a divinity degree from the Pittsburgh Seminary. He was an ordained Presbyterian minister. And then he started his famous television show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood Children's Show.
Он богатый, потому что из-за телевизионного шоу. Он ведет телевизионное шоу.
Generation, my kids grew up with Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He would always say, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and won't you be my neighbor?" This is a architect James Gamble Rogers work, 1939. It's, that house is on 3 acres. Swimming pool, tennis court on the other side of the house. 10-year-old private home. There was a hotel here from 1911 to 1955 called the Seminole Hotel. It was a little boutique winter hotel, 4 stories high, no air conditioning. It operated only in the winter months. It was made of cypress wood. The hotel looked a lot like this. That is a little corner of the original 1911 boathouse. And it is made from cypress wood. Magnolia, white flowers, magnolia trees.
А если свалишься? А если свалишься?
Many millions, and 2 people live in it.
2 человека всего лишь там живут в этом холодном
The
доме.
dirt there, that's where the Camping House was built in
Я с ума сошла.
1885.
Я под страхом умерла в таком
6
громадном
weeks
доме.
ago, it was moved across from that spot over to the Pulaski Museum. It was moved on a barge. We had the TV cameras on this boat, and we followed the house across the lake, made the TV news that night. 8? Yeah, they had to cut it in half because it weighs 200 tons. And so they made 2 trips, and then they duct taped the house together.
Не
It
уходи,
from Oak
побудь со
Park,
мной.
Illinois, well-known little town west of Chicago, Oak Park. 2 world-famous people came out of there, one an architect and one a writer. The architect was Ralph Frank Lloyd Wright. Well, how to get Ralph?
I told you, it's hot.
Frank Lloyd Wright, and the writer was Ernest Hemingway.
Походите там. Open house,
1888 boathouse. This was the estate of Charles Hosmer Morse from Chicago. The Morse Museum, beautiful exhibit of Tiffany art, open today till 4
Домик для
o'clock
лодки.
up on Park Avenue. Try not to miss it.
Boathouse.
Well, here's a good picture. Here's got a dog getting a ride on a paddleboard. Wow.
Ага, вот это сейчас очень-очень современно, вот это вот,
Собачка, ну.
типа каяков вот такое вот.
Hi. Well, you got most of the family there. Child and a dog.
А маленький мальчик
Wow.
тоже. Девочка.
Cute. The Morse Museum, folks, open till 4. If you get there a couple minutes before 4, they'll let you in.
А вон
See
еще
everything.
малышня.
Parking behind the museum. These are the very first condominiums in our town. They're 1961. Just
Все, мы
above
уже,
the boat
мы уже
slips
вернулись
here.
назад.
They were built in 61. Whispering
Ой, как
Waters, they're
здорово.
called.
Жарко.
The boat tour began in 1938, so that's 76 years now, the boat tour. And thank you very much for visiting. Have a good day.
Thank you. Алан, его же Алан зовут, правильно? Хороший капитанчик у нас, такой голос приятный у него, аж заслушалась. Ой, как жарко. На таком палящем солнце. Угу, там кто-то загорает. Как ему хорошо. Дядечка Га очень приятный. Ну, жарковато. Мы, конечно, в самое жаркое время пошли.
Вот этот белый футболочек, вот этот.
Холесенький. Они все холесенькие. И наш красавчик вон какой. Все, уходим, отползаем.